Uh-oh. Talking about an error occurred. What kind of error? What kind of error? Okay, let me go to Facebook and then just share from my personal Facebook. I just feel like that's probably the easiest and best way for me to do this because I was going directly to okay, all right. Okay, well, congratulations, friend. Okay, cool. Add me because I can pitch my other services to them too when I see them. Okay. So yes, what was I saying? I be doing so much different stuff. Okay. I am cool, yes, for sure. I love networking. Okay. I just want to say that I love networking. It is my favorite thing to do. It is my favorite thing to do. Network, meet new people, connect, expand, widen my reach. Okay. So if you are not operating like that, consider changing the way you operate. And I mean, I feel like this is just like a thing what is that thing that is coming up? It's crumbs from a piece of cake. Yes, I'll be eating cake at my desk. Um, it's a thing that's coming up, just like discussing collaboration over competition. And I think a lot of people really miss opportunities for themselves to do something by trying to compete instead of collaborate because it's just silly to me. It's just silly to me. Like, oh, you know what? I forgot something that I needed for this. Where is it? Oh, you know what? I have it on my desktop. So I don't. Do I have it on my desktop? So this is exactly what I do all the time whenever I am by myself. I'll be talking. And last night, me and myself had what is wrong with this internet? Anyway, last night myself and I had such a good conversation. Like I can't even I can't even. Here it is. Yes. Um, Let me make sure this is on. Okay, I see it again. So first thing I want to talk about, because I don't want to tell y'all what me and myself was discussing last night yet, because that's me and self business, and I'm gonna let self reveal that when self is ready to reveal that. Um, but the first thing I wanted to talk about is our love. No, okay. First thing I want to talk about is this toothpaste that I tried this morning, you guys. So a couple of weeks ago, maybe actually that was over a month ago, almost 2 months ago, really. I went to this event at the Empress of Pluto, and when we left, we were given like really excellent boxes to give away, of giveaway stuff that she was just handing out. Catherine Flowers, the queen, and inside of the boxes is this amazing charcoal hemp seed oil Burt's Bees toothpaste. And I just got to say that I really enjoyed using this morning. So if you have a chance to pick some up, I suggest that you do that because I feel like this is really good toothpaste. But let me tell you about some toothpaste that is not really good. Okay. Some toothpaste that is not really good is children's toothpaste. children's toothpaste, y'all, is not actually toothpaste. It's just flavored goo. And I'll tell you how I know. Because one day I had to use my daughter's toothpaste. Tastes like bubble gum, whatever. But it was like maybe like 2 hours later, and I was like, damn. Hey Liz, love to see you here. Oh, on the toothpaste? Yeah, that toothpaste is really good. I have an extra tube. I can give it to you if you want to try it. I can give you an extra tube if you want to try it. I feel like I need to turn Natalie down just a scotch. It's probably not loud for the viewer, but in the back behind me, it feels pretty loud. We got a mighty, mighty good love. Okay, so yeah, children's toothpaste is a bunch of bullshit. So like here we are as parents, like providing this toothpaste to our kids and expecting them to brush their teeth with it, and then we're like looking at them and saying, you didn't even brush your teeth. Well, maybe they did brush their teeth, but the toothpaste that they're using is not actually toothpaste. Okay, so yeah, okay. So today's card is the Judgment card, and that's why I wanted to pull up this piece that I had written because I want to read a little bit of it. We got that Judgment card. This one has an angel on it with a horn because she's like, it's Judgment Day, y'all. It's going down. So here are my thoughts, first of all, on Judgment. I think Judgment is really good to have. But only if you're able to use it as discernment, because one of the problems that we have as humans is misusing the gift of discernment to judge ourselves too harshly and to judge others. All right, so before I get into what I wrote, and then I guess I'll pull cards because I just kind of got up here and I'm like, what can I do? I feel kind of different today, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. I sort of feel like more expansive or more open, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, this has not been an easy time. It has not been an ideal time. And Liz, I'm going to call you today too because I have some updates for you, and I feel like you're going to be like, I really understand, and that really resonates with me, as you tend to do. But yesterday and the day before, my car battery was dead. So I kept having the neighbor to recharge the battery or whatever. And then, like yesterday specifically, he charged it up and he was like, okay, you need to drive it around or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back inside because I was working on a document that I was typing. So I was like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to save my document, I'm going to change my clothes or whatever, and I'm going to go down to the garage and I'm going to drive it for a minute. When I got back to the garage, the car was already dead. So I was like, okay, I just need to stop bullshitting and get a new battery. But the battery cost $250. And you know, in this time of my life, because I am a first-time entrepreneur and I'm out here grinding and getting it. So like all my money is generally accounted for. Like the light bill is $367. So to have the battery hit the light bill money, it's like, but it's okay. It's okay because I trust that I'm going to be provided for. That's the way I operate. So, but I do feel expansive even in moments like that. Now, I will say this about yesterday. Yesterday was definitely trying it. There was a lot of people, and I believe we had, and I don't have the chart up anywhere for yesterday, but I believe that we had, let me look at this real quick. I believe that we had an aspect to Mercury. Yes. So we have Jupiter in opposition to Mercury, which for me personally, and I feel like, let me go back to that. Let me see if I'm looking at the right date. Yes. Okay. So here's why I feel like it was emotional, because Mercury and the moon were also in a conjunction. So with that opposition to Jupiter hitting both of those planets, your emotions were affected and your communication was affected. And it's really trying to give you something. Jupiter is trying to give you something. When Jupiter is involved, it's trying to bless you with something. But it was a chaotic energy because I feel like everybody was like, oh, I'm about to say whatever I want to say, and I'm about to be too emotional, and I'm about to hurt your feelings and whatever. And it really made me look at the lack of emotional intelligence in people, because when we have days like that where we feel like, okay, I'm about to explode, you do realize that it's not a requirement for you to explode. Explosion is not required of you when you feel emotional. Like, yeah, you're going to feel it, but like it's the projections of some people that cause pain to others. So it's like you need to keep your words to yourself, keep your energy to yourself on days like that, because what you don't know, and let's go back to Will Smith slapping the piss out of Chris Rock. What you never know is whether or not the person that you're talking to has self-control. So you might end up getting beat the fuck up because you don't have self-control and neither do they. So then who's to blame in them situations? Everybody. So it's like, at least try to control yourself. I know it's not always easy. I get into this, I'm about to hurt somebody's feelings. But I have to remember, first of all, my words are very powerful. And one thing my sister has always said about me, even just when I was a kid, she was like, some of the stuff that you say is very hurtful. And I would be like, what you mean? I don't understand why you would say it was hurtful. But I have a sword over here, okay? And it does cut very deeply if I get into that space. So when I'm in those moods, I just try, I'm like, I'm not going to engage with others right now. So you have to be in a space of self-awareness and discernment that says, you know what, today is not a good day for me to talk to other people. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't force yourself, because if you start forcing, that's when you're going to get frustrated and you're going to end up in an explosion. So now let's talk about today. So today we've got the Jupiter sextile of Mars, which is blessings and gifts amplified by action, or amplifying action and aggression. So here's what I wrote as a note for this. Increased success when moving from desire. But let's not forget that we also have Mars in a square with the sun, which is also that action and aggression energy, making a square, which is a hard aspect to the sun and your ego. So I say, watch your ego and your triggers. And then here goes something that is going to, fuck with your emotions and what you think is taking place. So all of this kind of will work together. So yes, there is a blessing for you. And if you move from your desires, you will see success today. But pay attention to what it is that's driving you, because it could be, we've got Neptune sextile to Pluto, dreams, visions, and also lies. Neptune sometimes be lying, okay? Sextile to Pluto, which is about death and transformation, rebirth, the darkness, transmutation, in a square with the moon, boom, hitting your emotions again, and then the moon is square to Saturn. Saturn is about karma. Saturn is about rules and restrictions. So there's this energy of like, oh, overwhelming. Well, I guess it would be an overwhelming desire. So that's why I say, when you're moving from your desire, check in with yourself first, because you don't want to go do something that you're going to regret later because what you thought was happening wasn't really happening. Like, let's say, you're working with somebody, and I'm just going to use projects for an example because that's what I do. So let's say you're working with somebody on a project and you haven't gotten back part of what it is that you need from them. And so you decide, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to blow the whole thing up. We're not even going to operate anymore. But you don't know that like that person is dealing with something personal, and maybe that's why they haven't gotten to it. Or maybe, they need help and they're not asking for it. So just be cautious. Okay. Be cautious about moving from your desires. We want you to be successful, and you can be, but don't be reckless. Okay. All right. So let's see. Do I want to read this first? I think I want to do the cards first, because I think it will bring up whatever I need to read in here. Whatever I need to read. Alrighty. I'm going to an event tonight. The name of it escapes me right now. Let me look at this flyer. Um, oh, lovely. Okay, I'm going to help my friend. She is vending, so I'm going to help her and show up to support her and be pretty at the table. Okay. All right. So it is called Healing Girl Season. I like this flyer too. It's very cute. It says, "It's time to put yourself first." An intimate setting curated for learning and discussing what healing represents for you, along with applicable knowledge on how to love yourself and others simultaneously. I think that's beautiful. And I think that is exactly where I need to be to one, get some healing, but two, do some networking. Like, once again, y'all know I love that because we have an event coming up. Actually, I have two events coming up I'm associated with that are about healing for women and men too. But they are both taking place in October. So I am networking and connecting with the girls who might want to come then, who may want to come and join the experience. I'm out here, okay, because I'm a networker. All right, so now moving on to the cards of the day. I am calling in the support of my angels, ancestors, guides, ascended masters, my heavenly Father, my Creator who lives in me. Hallelujah. I am at peace. I'm at ease. I honor and see myself. I agree to find the path, stay the course, trust the process, and enjoy the journey. Amen, amen, amen. All right, Spirit, give me some information here. For those viewers who are coming through here, let me know what it is that we need to know about judgment and discernment. All right, so I'm just going to pull these cards and we're going to see what hits the table. And last night I was doing a reading and it was mind blowing. I was like, oh shit, every time. I was just sitting here by myself, just having so much joy and feeling so surprised by the messages. Okay, what's up first? The Three of Spades. Actually, that was the card last night too. One of them that was like, "Ooh, you don't say." It was a love reading, so we were looking at some activities. Oh, the King of Hearts. I've got to learn. Ace of Hearts. All of these are heart cards, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because the Three of Spades in the tarot is associated, and I do have my heart sunglasses here too, is associated with the Three of Hearts, which is a card that I think we talked about this last week, but it's a card that kind of talks about pain, heartache, emotional turmoil, and that kind of thing. So we're seeing here with the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts associates with the King of Cups. Now, sometimes I see this card, and even though I know the King of Cups is very emotionally balanced and he's even killed and he's kind of I would say like big Pisces energy, like maybe like at the last decan of Pisces. But also, I feel like when he's not in alignment, he isn't emotionally intelligent because he's carrying a lot of masculine energy and misusing it, but also ignoring his feminine energy. So then we've got the Ace of Hearts. I wonder who that is. Y'all know it. I always want to know who emailed me. Lining up with the Ace of Cups. So that is a renewal of love. And I feel like this is about love of self. It's not necessarily about external relationships. Because like I always say, I feel like people judge themselves too harshly, and that's what leads to harsh judgment of others. So whatever you're taught about, what's appropriate, how you should act, how you should be, how you should live, how you should love, When you see other people doing things that you judge yourself for, then of course you're going to be excessively judgmental. And remember, with Mars being in the sign of Gemini until January, it's going to get messy out here. And don't forget, we have about 10 days before, well, less than that, before Mercury goes retrograde. So there's going to be a lot of messiness, cattiness, talking about people. And that's going to come from the way you judge yourself. Like, there are a lot of people who think they're not judgmental, but the stuff that they say and the way they talk about people is like, you're clearly judging this person for living a free life. You know, it might be something so casual as, oh, I just would never wear that. Well, why wouldn't you wear it? And also, why is it bothering you that that other party is wearing it? Because that's not your body. And that's not to say that I haven't been guilty of this, because I'm a human. Okay. I have lived here too. But yeah, so I think that's what we're talking about. Getting out of that space where you are using your bad experiences. Like, let's say somebody made fun of you for something. So you never want to get out there and do it again. So instead of you going to do it, you maybe support other people who do it, but then you cut them down at the same time. Like, oh, well, she could have done that better. But you never get your ass out there to try it. You never get your ass out there to try it. So maybe if you stop judging yourself and others so harshly, you would get out there and try it. So don't be in a position or in a space where you are hindering your own success. And I said something last week that I feel like this kind of ties into. I feel like I said, and I guess I could go look it up because it was on Facebook, but I don't want to have to scroll that far down. Anyway, I think it was something like, don't get hurt by trying to block somebody else's blessing, because the same energy that you could be spending, or the same energy you're spending to really get in their way, you could be spending to plant your and cultivate your own seeds every day. So like, why are you trying to interfere with other people's success instead of just like going to find your own success? You know, like, come on. Okay, so let me see. What do I want to read about this before we get into the tarot cards? Sometimes I don't even know what I wrote in this. Okay, let me see. Where do I want to start? Okay, living a life of internal discernment versus one of external judgment opens you up to so many possibilities. It's the way those of us who are brave enough to tell our stories decide how and when to do it. If we were concerned about judgment, we would not tell the truth of how we came from the dark to the light. That's my truth, of course. Or how we knew when we were wrong and when we were doing right. There's a gift here in being free. It allows you to become the person you were meant to be. I better be rhyming. We did not come here to this earth to live mediocre lives that are built on whether or not you should do something or you should say this or that, because if you do, people might think you're one of those people, whatever that means. What does it mean to be one of those people? I think for some, it means to be the type of person who has no decorum or sense of responsibility to the rest of us, to live wild and so recklessly. The fact of the matter is this: when you decide that you no longer care what this world thinks of you, you seek to rise based on the feeling of exhaustion that builds from trying to keep up with the Joneses. And to be polished and seen as the image of perfection, you allow yourself to see a different view. Life isn't meant to be so constricting, and when you give yourself permission to live it without bounds, you also come to know love that you haven't been exposed to, living in the way of judgment. When you rise to your truest form and your best self, you take all the dreams and desires you've ever had off the shelf. You let more love in and you let more love out, and you begin to understand what humanity is really all about. She better be rhyming. I better be rhyming. You're able to extend grace to others and to forgive your sisters and brothers for what they've done here and for the way all those things made you feel. I know some people don't agree with forgiveness, but it's part of the magic for me. The space you create in yourself when you stop holding onto bitterness, ego constrictions, and judgment is filled with light. That's how you make it here, with discernment and the light of the world inside you. As I said in the beginning, only God can judge us, and we are all connected to that entity. Who we are now are only pieces of her or him. Aw, I was really writing that thing. But yeah, I mean, it's like when you kind of stop living for the world, then you can really live to serve. You can live in a space of freedom and like just do what it is that you came here to do. Like, this is the energy of a person who cannot free themselves from their own thoughts. Like, you can't even sleep at night because all you can do is dream about bullshit and think about bullshit and how you are a bunch of bullshit. That's not the way to live. You gotta free yourself. And here's another one. This is the Five of Swords. They're talking about the internal conflict in the battlefield of the mind. But it's your responsibility to fight that. So you can start by looking at the ways that you judge other people. If you're not yet sure how you judge yourself, just look at the stuff that irritates you on others. If it's bothering you that Susie Q lets her kids eat snacks at a time that you don't, you need to be looking at that. Like, why do I give a fuck what she's doing in her house? Is that really hurting me? Is that really bothering me? And if you can trace it back to where that started, you can stop caring about that and change your vibration. Caring about stuff that doesn't matter. Sitting around with your friends gossiping about shit that don't have nothing to do with you. Did you know that she does this and that? Girl, yeah. Oh, wow. Like, damn, what could you be doing with that energy? You could be creating a whole business or a process flow that helps somebody else. But what are you doing? Chatting about somebody else's business because you're afraid to be as free as you see them being. Like, who gives a damn? If you feel like you have to watch what I do or the next person does and be like, I would never do that. You're a bored bitch and you need to find something to do. Okay. Don't be a bored bitch. Don't be a bored bitch. Because the thing about that is, like I said, when you end up in those positions and you're doing that and you're operating like one of those bored bitches, you probably really have a lot of your own shit that you need to be focused on, but you're using other people's business and your desire to be in other people's business as a way to avoid doing the work that you need to do. What is the old saying? Clean up your own backyard. Physician, heal thyself. Those things are one and the same. Do your work. Focus on your shit. Focus on your shit. That's how you get ahead. Okay, so what else? What else? I don't even remember what the hell I said, to be honest. I don't even remember what I said about these cards. Oh, the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. Can I take you out tonight? So yeah, y'all make sure to, if you want to come karaoke next week, please be sure to like that Facebook invitation. Damn, the Page of Swords in reverse, so that we can get a good count of the people who are going to be in attendance, or just like an estimate. I mean, not even an estimate, just like, an idea, a rough idea. Ah, the 10 of Wands. Hello. Okay. Let me sit with this for a second. Okay. So I feel like I'm definitely seeing pressure. uh, the pressure to the pressure to be, I think I was even saying it in that writing, but it's like the pressure to be perceived as not even perfect, just like socially acceptable is very heavy. And at some point I'm seeing like really kind of weird, but I'm seeing like a person holding an anvil, but it's like not in their arms. It's tied to their back. So it's like you're holding the weight of the world because you're trying to be what they expect you to be versus being what you are and living like a star. I guess that's the thing. You know, like just feeling like what will they say about you, or how will they perceive you if you are free? Oh, listen to the song. It's important to me. Yeah, that you know you are free. You are free. Like you don't have to hold that. Like sometimes my back hurts and I know why. Because of shit like this. Like I'm trying to hold up everything by myself. I'm trying to hold up everything by myself. You know, I'm a single mom. I'm the only one working. I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one doing that. So it applies a lot of pressure. And a lot of people feel like that because a lot of people want to be doing something else with their lives, but they're spending their lives doing the thing that somebody told them was acceptable. And so instead of just saying, you know what, I am going to free myself from these shackles and I'm going to go live a life that makes me feel good, you live in misery because you're not using discernment. You're operating from self judgment. Like if you were able to use discernment when you get a feeling about something, you would just be like, that feels good. I feel like if I go this way, if I use this as my direction, man, it could open up so much for me. But you don't do that. You see yourself, like you see a vision of yourself doing this thing, and you're like, that's stupid. You shouldn't even try that because you're going to fail. You will fail instantly. And that is incorrect judgment. So using discernment allows you to operate in a space of freedom and self love, because when you start to see yourself as who you really are, and you start to peel back those layers and you start to free yourself from that self judgment, you feel so much joy and compassion for yourself because you're sort of able to see yourself objectively, almost as another individual. You'll see yourself the way that you see other people. Like, you know, those people that you put on a pedestal, you think they're really cool, they're really amazing, and whatever, whatever. If you could see yourself without that lens of judgment, you would also see that you too are really cool, really amazing, and really great to be around. People like you, you know? But you're judging yourself. Like you don't like yourself. It is self-hatred. That's why I said, to me this is a message of self-love, not even external love necessarily, how we need to be viewing other people right now. How do you view yourself? If you view yourself incorrectly, you will also view other people incorrectly, but you will not be able to do anything in your life. And remember, I told y'all that Jupiter in the sextile with Mars today is going to give you increased success when you move from desire, but you cannot move from desire while you're still judging yourself for even wanting what it is that you want. If you're judging yourself too harshly for wanting what you want, you're not going to go get it because you're afraid of how people will see you if you go after it. Like, okay, for example, it could be romantic. You might say, okay, I really, really want to be with this person, but what is everyone going to say if I choose them? How will they view me? Or how will you view yourself because of the way that you've decided loving this other party or this person makes you feel? It's all about how you view yourself in your relationship with yourself. You could be living a much better life, but you and yourself don't have a great relationship. So that could be it. I just got up here this morning and started talking shit and barely talk about these cards. But that's what I feel like I need to do today. So that's how today feels. And I'm living in the divine flow, honey. I'm living in the divine flow. I don't want to lose your love. I have to make some maps. But I like that. Like, I really love to draw like a flow chart for strategy. Boom, boom, boom. If this, then it gets me so excited. So I'm really looking forward to doing that today. I have so many notebooks. When I go back and look through them, I'm like, now you said and wrote all this down and you never did anything with it. Like, I have probably like, I don't know, probably 100 strategies over here. 100 strategies on Queen of Pentacles. They about to tell us right now what we could be if we stop judging ourselves. I can feel it. That's what's coming out. The King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles right there together. Okay, you could be balanced, living an abundant life with true partnership. 2 cups giving back and forth. But judgment. But judgment. The Lovers. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, somebody out there is playing and they need to go ahead and call that person up. The 10 of cups. I can't. I can't. My cans have left. I'm done. You need to go ahead, and whoever you are, you need to go ahead and you need to make the phone call. You need to call and you need to just be like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I absolutely love you and I'm ready. Somebody need to let the judgment go and go for what you know. I don't know which one of y'all it is, but somebody out there. I'm hearing too, could it be I'm falling in love by the Spinners? Come on. If you fell in love, just say that. If you fell in love, just say that. Okay, let me make a video because content. Let me a video real quick so we can. The husband and wife card. The Lovers and the 10 of Cups, the happy family. Oh my God. I can't even get over it. I love it. All right, let's go with the Oracle cards now. Let's go with the Oracle cards. It has been so gloomy. Like, remember I was doing the rain dance or whatever? I mean, it's been raining for sure. And remember I talked about too, feeling like, I don't want to put that in right there. Oh my God. If I do not stop being supremely neurotic. Remember I was talking about, even though we need the rain, it comes sometimes with things that are less than ideal, like, not really being able to go outside and play or whatever. So it's been kind of great. And like my damn internet, every time it rains, it's like, I don't work. And I'm like, okay, that means I don't either. Because I literally work on the internet. On the internet. Make yours a happy home. Make yours a happy home. Stop looking at what other people tell you is what family's supposed to be like, what love's supposed to be like, and just make yours a happy home. I got love today. I love this. Like I say, I don't know exactly who that's for, but you need to just go ahead and do it because you're bullshitting. Who cares? What pleases you? Empathic star seed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. I feel like that goes right into what we were talking about, though, because it's like all of your beliefs are not really just your beliefs. They are somebody else's beliefs that gave them to you because when you're born, when you come here, you're open. You're like, oh my God, it's Earth. I'm about to be up in this bitch and I'm about to have fun. And then every year it's like I'm actually this sucks because you're not letting yourself be who you really want to be and do what you want to do. Well, granted, that's part of the process to learn restriction, which is, being in your body or whatever. But how can you work with it anyway? How can you enjoy it anyway? By making choices and doing things that serve and honor you and the divine and not this world. Like, let go of other people's ideas and feelings about what you ought to be doing. Those people are judging you because they're judging themselves. It doesn't have anything to do with you. You're okay to do what it is that feels good to you. You are okay to do that. Do. You got the love. I had a long conversation yesterday with somebody about codependency too, because it says codependency and boundaries. Y'all, I think this is one of the problems. If people are afraid to step out on their own and cut themselves off, fall into my arms again, cut themselves off from the support of maybe their family by making the choice that would serve them because of codependency. Like, are you going to die if your mother is mad at you for 3 months? Are you going to die if your dad says he's going to disown you? Let that nigga disown you for a minute. He will come around at some point because it's going to be ridiculous. And he's going to be feeling the loss of that. And you will too. But you have to know that you can create your own family through friendships. You create your own family, happy family, through friendships, through love. So if what you're getting from your blood, your birth family is resistance, you got to be able to say, this doesn't serve me, and walk away from them. We see so many people who are afraid to do that. And we see a lot of comments and posts on the internet that are like, that's still your mom. It can still be your mom behind a boundary too. Just because it's your mother doesn't mean that she have to be all up in your shit. I'm just saying. I hope the people who watch this back are like, okay, I understand that message, because I don't even know how we got over here, child. But that's part of the fun of this, I think, for me, is like, I don't even be knowing how I finished it. I don't even know how I got over here. So starting on Friday, I'm about to be doing something ridiculous but funny and fun, and it has a purpose. But it's gonna seem crazy. But starting on Friday, I am going to be doing voting on your favorite flavor of Starburst, because I got 2 yellow Starbursts yesterday, and I was like, what the hell? Because yesterday was kind of like, oh shit. And I was like, so we're really going to cap the day off with 2 yellow Starbursts? Because remember that meme from like a long time ago where it was like, ladies, don't ever let anyone treat you like a yellow Starburst. You're a pink or whatever. Panchea, there's a solution for every problem. Absolutely. But here goes the part. In order for you to get to the solution, you, one, got to decide that you have a problem. Okay. And two, you have to be open to the solutions coming through. So that means that you have to be open to divine guidance. Okay. Because you're not going to get the answers, the solutions not going to come. Just like that conversation I was saying that I had with myself last night. The information was like, but also, and I was like, oh my God, you are fucking lying. But no, 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 not. I wasn't seeing it because I was overlooking it. I was overlooking it. But it's there, the information, you know. But I'm just glad that I know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to do that. One of my daughter's friends the other day was outside the garage. I guess maybe that was yesterday. Anyway, they were rambunctious and acting up, and I was like, no, y'all can't come in here or whatever. So Kayla got all upset, and she was like, no. Like, when I tell her no, her friends can't come in, she be real aggressive with them. So that's something that we're working on. But she told one of them, she couldn't come in or whatever. So she was walking around outside the garage, and she was like, I have a lot of friends. So I still have friends. And she was listing off the friends. And I said, are you talking to yourself? And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, sometimes talking to yourself will also help you find a solution. I said, and maybe it's not just that, you have to unfriend them, but maybe you need to figure out why you're having this problem with your friends. Because I've taken her places and I've been like, sometimes you're not nice, or kind rather, because I don't necessarily like the term nice, but, I think if people could do that, if you could look at the situation and say, well, what did I do in it? Because maybe I'm not, just right either, Ooh, bye. I have to leave. Love. Love. It's love. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Beautiful. Okay. This card indicates a need to see the world through the eyes of love and to remember at all times that only love is real. When you look beyond the illusion to see the beauty in the world, you align yourself with source and the intentions of your soul because you attract what you are. When you see through the eyes of love, that's what will surround you in all areas of your life. This card also indicates a need to go. Hey, Google, go to the next song. Thank you. Okay. This card also indicates a need to go within to recognize and address any limiting thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back from experiencing love. This is a time when you must ask yourself, am I truly open to giving and receiving love? Do I truly believe I am worthy of love? And do I really believe that love exists for me? Because love only comes when you believe that it exists. And when you're open to giving and receiving, and when you know that you are worthy, when you believe in yourself and cherish your life as it is today, love will embrace you in ways you've never known. Unconditional love of self and others will attract more love into your life. Thank you for that, Spirit. Thank you for that, because that's essentially what we've been talking about this whole time. Return to love. Return to love. Bring yourself back to the person that you were before you were damaged by this world, because they told you that the things that you like to do and what you loved about yourself was wrong. And I always tell people to just connect with their inner child. Like I always say to y'all, why do y'all think that I'm dancing like a waffle on the internet? Because that's what my inner child would love to do. That is her space, that is her space. That is where she be free at. And where she be free at. So that's why I do it. Because you gotta be able to have at least one space for yourself that's just yours, and other people don't dictate what you do in it. It's kind of like a room, like if it was my personal sanctuary, other people would not be able to tell me how to operate in it. And that's kind of how you have to look at your body. It is your personal sanctuary. Nobody can tell you how to operate in it, and nobody can tell you, unless you're going to hurt others, what you ought to be doing with it. If you want to cut your hair, if you want to dye it a certain color, if you want to pierce yourself all up, whatever you want to do to express yourself, you should be doing it. You should be doing it. That will bring you to more love. That's 2 10 of Wands. What was this about? I think this, when I was reading this one the other day, it was about creation or something. It wasn't like the traditional wands card, 10 of wands though. I just have to memorize the order that these are in. Maybe even the page numbers. I think I will do that because I never seem to be able to pull right to it. Okay. A tribe of people gather around the flame in ceremony. Symbols hover around them, spiraling into the fire that swirls in their center. The tribe dances in ritual ceremony. Will their offering prove successful? It is unclear in the card. The wands each person holds is a resource that used to show their needs. The letters and symbols communicate these needs down to the fire. The fire is the center of their universe, a divine spark. The message in this card suggests that we should offer up our burdens to the divine who will grant us release. Burning your demons and making magic. Yes. Okay. Okay. So tomorrow's card is the 10 of Swords, which is for me the death and rebirth card. But this card and what they just said to me kind of goes exactly back to what we're talking about, because here's what people don't realize. You kind of have to make that ego death a thing, and I don't really mean like kill your ego, because your ego has purpose and you need it. And you need it, but you have to be able to put it together in a way that serves you, or you have to be able to see the gifts in it, use the gifts in it, but adjust those qualities that have been hindering you, that live there in the ego space. Because once again, it goes back to judgment. If your ego is at a balance, then it doesn't stop you from doing anything, but it also doesn't project out onto others. Okay. So it's really about that. I think I want to do, and I don't usually do this on here, but I think I want to do a Women of Science card because I like these. I've been on here for 52 minutes just talking. I used to pull these for the Vibe Tribe, and I would ask, it's been a long time since I used these cards, and I would ask, what bad bitch energy do we need to embody? Okay, so let's see. Like, I used to not want to do cards on screen because I shuffle slow, and all the other girls I used to watch would shuffle real quick. So I'd be like, I don't, I'm not doing it like them. People won't like it. I don't even care anymore. I'm not about to be out here crazy. Like, my hands are, first of all, small, but also, I know I've talked about this before, my hands be sometimes betraying me. Okay, the Ace of Astro. Okay, let's see. All right. The Ace of Astro, which is Swords. New beginning, potential for change. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm not going to try it because I don't want to disrespect this lady's energy. It is Hypatia. Okay. The pursuit of truth is noble, even if it is not appreciated at the time. She is remembered mostly for her martyrdom, but the life of Hellenistic intellectual, this lady, was quite something as well. Living in 4th century Alexandria, she became the first female mathematician to share her knowledge with broader audiences, making her both an influential philosopher and a kind of public intellectual. Go off, sis. Heralded as one of the last great thinkers of ancient Alexandria, she was violently murdered. My goodness, what the hell? Around 415 AD by a mob of Christian zealots during a time when Alexandria, a prominent cultural center of scholarly and academic pursuits for Western civilization, was rife with religious conflicts. You know what? You know what? And that's been one of my things too. Thank you, Spirit. That's been one of my things too. Like, okay, I don't want people to call me witch, and I don't want people to, tell me that I don't believe in God and whatever. And like, that is so stupid, because you can believe in God and you can still actually be a Christian, and you can operate like I do. Because guess how I know? Because I do. Like, I still have a relationship with God and even the energy of Jesus Christ. But I'm going to use these cards and I'm going to look at these planets, because that's what healed me. That's what healed me. Like, nobody can take that away from me. And if there's something that you're into that you feel like people would judge you for it because they're not doing it, you really need to get to the point where you're able to say, fuck them, or get the fuck out of my face, or however you need to phrase it. Because this is your life. This is your life. And this practice, this activity that you see me doing every single day, is what brought me from the brink of depression and suicide. So if anybody thinks that I'm going to stop doing it because it makes them uncomfortable, they just really got me fucked up. But also, here's another thing. It's also what brought me back to my relationship with the divine, because I did not have one at all. I didn't have one. I felt like I was alone and that God did not love me because I was just me, and I felt like I was not worthy. And so, like I say all the time, not only was I cutting myself off from the love of others and myself, but I also cut myself off from the love of the divine anytime I don't let my star shine. Okay. But also just being in that space of self-hatred. So just like I said, not letting your star shine, being in a space of self-hatred, you cut yourself off from all sources of love. And even if you feel like you're getting it, they're not getting you. That's not really you that you're showing them. So it can't be authentic, because you're afraid to be who you really are, because then you're worried that the people that you've given this false persona to will leave you if they find out who you are, if they find out how you are. You cannot be afraid of that. You have to understand that if you do lose people on your journey, that space will be created for people who are meant to be there with you. And then also, don't you worry, because one thing is for sure, people always spin the block. Always. Always. So you don't have to worry. You have nothing to worry. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So remember that. And I'll see you later. And don't be a self-hater. Woo! Last thing, on Friday, I'm going to Mr.'s Red Room to the comedy show. You can grab tickets. I did post on Facebook for you to get your tickets. There are some free ones right now, so don't miss out on that opportunity. And I will see y'all there. Okay, so I'll see you later. Don't be a self-hater. Bye-bye.